So this is part 2 of our Revit tutorials video series. And in this one here, we're going to look at creating walls. Again, the video itself should, this is on your OneNote, just online. The video, this is part 2. We are looking at taking about 15 minutes to do that. You can download again in that same folder that we downloaded last time. There will be the one in there called Create Walls, which you can open up and use that. There is also their video that you could watch, or you can continue on using the same document that we use to do our existing levels, and we can build upon that. So if we go with the one that they opened, it'll already have these grid lines on there. However, if we use the one that we did last video series, the levels one, and we're just going to add to that, then we will need to add those grid lines to that. There is a little link there on how to add grids to that, but I'm going to quickly whiz through, or try and do that very quickly, to show you how you do that. So what we're looking at doing is, I've opened up the foundation one, so this is the one that they refer to open, and there you can see that the grid line's already there. What they've also got is these little data points, point markers around the place. I haven't added those, but what I have done is just, if I've clicked on one of these grid lines, it tells me the spacing, the offsets between line 1 to line 2 is 9,500 millimeters. Line 2 to 3, where is it? There it is 7,925. Again, from lines 3 to 4. Etc., etc. So what I did is, just on a piece of paper, write those spacings down, so then I can create that on this one. So this one here is the levels that we did last time, and so what I'm going to do is just select that across there and go delete, and select that way and delete. This was our levels folder that we did last time. You can see there's all the levels that we named and changed. So I'm going to show you how to quickly put that grid in there, as well as doing the walls, hopefully, as well. So in the Architecture tab, scroll across till you find the Datum panel, and in that you'll have Grid. Grab the grid, and we've got our draw tools up there, so we're going to just draw the first line at the top, and we're going to do our verticals to start off with. So we're going to start at the bottom of that and draw up, and what's going to happen is that you will get the label at the top if you go from the bottom to the top. So we're going to do that. The next time we're going to go pick line. We're going to apply that offset. Now we wrote that down, which is 9,500. So now when I move my mouse across next to that line, you can see a dashed line come up next to it. If I click, that gives me this one here at 9.5. The next one that we had to do was 7,925. And again, we just go across next to that line. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of those, and then the last one is a thin one, which is at 2,500, and we're just going to pop that on the end. So there's all our vertical grid lines done already. You can click on modify if you wanted to. If you drag from right to left, you'll be able to select all the lines, and you can grab those and you can move them around in that space. So try and sort of center them, I guess, within your elevation view markers. At the top here, the numbers, we can renumber those, so we can go through that in a second. Okay, we're going to go back to the Architecture tab, back into our grid and our grid lines. This time we're going to do the horizontal lines. So we're going to run one across the top to start off with, and again we're going to go from right to left. Then our first offset for the next line is 7683.3. Grab our pick line, bring that down, and then we got another one that's that height, and then another one that's at that height. Then the next line is 5700, one of those, and then the last one should be 2500 on the bottom. Okay, click on the modify. Again, you can drag from that way, I did from bottom to top, and again you can move those down so you can adjust those grid lines to wherever it is that you might see fit. I think in the drawing they had the first two above that elevation view, something like that. So I'm going to go with something like that. Okay, so easy as that to do the grid lines. From that point there, it's now a matter of drawing the walls. So we're looking at the exterior walls. Hopefully in this we've got the same ones that they're after. So to do the walls, we're going to go to the architecture tab. We're in the build panel. So there's the build panel there. We're going to click on wall. So hit the wall button. In the drop-down list, so this is our drop-down list that they refer to here. We've got different wall types that are in there. We're going to select the basic exterior render brick on block. So exterior render brick on block, that one there I think it is. Click on that. In the options bar, now this is our options bar along here. What we want to do is for a height, select 0.3. So over here, here's our height. We want to select 0.3, the upper parapet. Well, this is lower parapet. Why is that? I think they've done it the wrong way around. For location, select finish. So the location line here, we want finish face exterior. Verify that this is ticked on, the chain is ticked on. Click on the modify. Place wall tab, draw panel. And so now we're going to go across here, make sure that we've got our drawing tool selected, and draw all the points in the drawing and ending at point 18. Now, what they've done, and this is where I haven't got the points that they've got in their folder, but if we were to use their folder, they've got actually their walls are going in and out a bit like this. And then they're going across. So what I need to do is I'll work out, we'll just draw the rough shape of this. So I'll actually undo this. So if we were drawing walls, we can then actually select the object. We can draw around, down. We can follow our grid lines around and do that. If we go up to the default 3D view, so if we click on this little house here, we can see that we have drawn 4 walls in our diagram. Okay, now what we're going to do is I have to see where they put the points on their foundation, because if we look at their points, and I'll zoom in on that, what they're actually doing is we're actually starting in this, and it says in our instructions to start on point 1. So if we've got a point 1, we've got 17, 18, point 1, there it is there. And then we're going to end on 18. So if we were to do theirs, so we go wall, and then we pick that same wall again. I'll show you the little difference between them. Render brick on block, starting at point 1, and we've got wall. Actually, escape out of that. I just got to do my options here again. Lower parapet, finish face exterior, chain. Pick that again. Okay, so now we're going across from 1. Now zoom. I have to zoom in a little bit. 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5 to 6. And you can see that I'm using those little pink markers when they come up. Zoom out a little bit. Go up to the next one. There we go. There we go. And so you're just basically working your way around the points that they've given you. Till you get back to the start point. Now if we look at that in our 3D space, there it is. And so if we're looking at what that looks like against our instructions, I'll bring those back in quickly. There we are there. So it looks like that. So if we use the notes that we do in there, and we use that particular file type, then you can follow and use the points that are there if you'd like to try, and which will give you that sort of view. If you want to just do the grid, have a go at the drawing the grid and having a go at it yourself, you can do it the other way that I showed you to start off with. We're going to look at then modifying these exterior walls. So we're going to modify these corners, and we're going to add some interior walls in a minute as well. So they're going to be the next part of what we're going about to do. But we might save that for part B of part 2. So we'll go with that.